Hello everybody, and thank you very much for purchasing one of my stash boxes. I'm going to be going over some of the assembly instructions. This is going to be a little bit more detailed compared to the instructions that you receive inside the box, which are right here, if I can get that up. Right there. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because if you're going to be using super glue, I kind of do it a little bit differently than what the instructions hold or told, because the amount of glue on the instructions I don't feel is adequate enough for a nice sturdy box. But so to get into it, we got our whole layout here. We got our top and bottom of the box. We have our four sides. I've already have the magnets installed for you. A couple of brackets here for the back, and then a box of the small parts for the rest of it. Now I do include some of the smaller parts. I include some extra ones so that in case anything breaks or you drop one and you can't find it, well, some of the smaller ones, such as the hinge right here, there'll be extras in there for your convenience. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and grab our four side pieces. The front piece is going to have the magnet installed there. This is going to have the back. Now you want these holes lined up towards the top. So we're just going to go ahead and grab one of the side pieces, insert it in here. Now we're not going to be doing any gluing quite yet. We're just going to kind of piece this together. Alright, so we have, like I said, holes up top for the hinges, which are going to be these 6 sets right here, or the 3 sets. And we'll go ahead and get these pieced together. Now, with the holes up top, you're going to want to make sure your magnet is on the bottom. That's going to be where your hasp is going to connect and keep your box closed when not in use. So we'll go ahead and put that together. Now we're going to go ahead and in part 2, we have our base. We're going to go ahead and just set it face down. As you can see, we have these knobs here on the bottom that run along the sides and the front, but there's no knobs in the back, so you can easily orient it to the bottom. And we'll go ahead and just place it in right here. Try to keep the pieces together as you're doing this, or else you're going to be messing around with this for a little bit. And we'll go ahead and line them up, kind of push them in a hair. So with wood and warping, you may have to be a little bit physical, but you don't want to be too physical. These are made out of completely solid hardwood. There is no plywood, so there's no worry about any of the layers becoming separated from each other. But there is always the possibility of splintering. So with that in, let's go ahead and break out the super glue. I use Starbond just because I go through a lot of super glue in my line of work, and I also have a rag available just in case I need to wipe up any excess. Now I cut the nozzle at 45 degrees so that way I can kind of run it like I do caulk. Now we'll go ahead and make sure that these are sitting nice and pretty, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm just going to, let's make sure I got my 45 right, I'm going to line the inside just like I would any caulking gun. And I'm going to do that to all 4 sides, and as this soaks into the wood and dries, this is going to make that connection. Kind of press down as you go. If you need to, only do 2 sides at once. Make sure you're not doing this on a surface that you don't want to glue it to, just in case any of it runs through. And make sure that your fingers aren't touching any of the holes on the backside, because you will glue your fingers to the box as well. And you're going to sit there and hold it for about a good 20-30 seconds. Make sure that that sets up. And I will try and edit these out as we go further along in the video. You can see, make sure I'm not grabbing anything there. Just kind of push down. And those 2 should be nice and solid. So we'll wipe up the excess. Now when you go to stain it later, you can either stain it prior to the assembly, or you can wait until you are done. Either or, it doesn't matter. Some people like to stain it beforehand, so that way they can have an easy time wiping off any excess without having to get into the grooves. But for me, if I'm doing a lot of them, I'll stain it separate and then glue it later. If I'm just doing one at a time, then I'll go ahead and just stain the box right afterwards. So getting into this joint again, and don't forget to run up the sides so we can get those ones in as well. And got that one. Just like caulking. Oh, come on. That one's wanting to push out a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and push it down. Hold it for a few seconds. Let that soak into wood and make its bond. See, I'm imagining fast forwarding through the cut parts of this and having my voice go high pitch. That should be good. Let's go ahead and wipe off the excess. See if any of it soaked through. Doesn't look like it. Now, if you want to double check, or if you want a little bit stronger bond, you can actually go through each one of these pegs right here and just add a little dab. I'll go ahead and do it just so you can see. Just flip it upside down. Add a little dab to each one of those holes, and that'll help keep those pegs in and make those nice and solid. You don't want to do too much, just enough to cover it and let it soak in. Now you can kind of see why I go through so many of these super glues, because I glue a lot of projects. These ones are going to come in pieces as requested by my retailer. Dab up the excess. Well, crap. Yep, that's going to be a demo piece. Nah, I'll just sand that off and just, no, that's definitely going to be a demo piece. Well, crap. Okay, well, luckily that will be a demo piece, because I'm going to glue this all together and we'll just let the retailer set it up there so you guys can get a general idea on what it looks like. But yeah, I'm not going to, if he does sell it, he's going to sell that at a discounted price, because that does not pass my QA standards right there.